Hey, do you know what we're gonna do today?
What?
We are going to bake a birthday cake.
A birthday cake?
Mm-hmm.
Like in TV?
Mm-hmm, but for real.
No way.
Recently, I saw Room with Brie Larson and Jacob Tremblay, and I absolutely loved it. It was heartbreaking, heartwarming, very thoughtful, and just beautiful in every respect. I knew I wanted to make a video about it, but it was also very hard to decide what to choose to highlight in the film. There are so many awesome aspects of it, but in the end, I decided on the idea of pleasing the five senses in cinema. If you haven't heard of this film, it's about a young boy, Jack, coming out of the room he's been trapped in for his whole life and experiencing the world. And so thusly, there's a lot of discovery as he experiences hundreds of things for the first time and sees the vast span of creation and its beauty. Essentially what makes this film shine in those sequences, which there are quite a few of, is that it's very much pleasing all five of the human senses as Jack begins his journey of discovery. So if you remember your lessons in kindergarten, I know I don't, you'll remember that we all have five senses: sight, hearing, taste, smell, and touch. In Room, we're given all five of those senses in different ways throughout the film. Let's take a look at how they're used. Taste. I figured I'd start with the simplest ones. If you think about it, taste is the hardest sense to convey in a movie. See, with sight and sound, and in some ways touch, you can experience those senses for yourself through the movie. But with something like taste, you have to be eating the food to experience it for yourself. And no matter how hard any film, even this one tries, you can't exactly convey that feeling. Still though, we do see a lot of food in this film. And with any other movie, that wouldn't be really out of the ordinary, but since we know that Jack hasn't had many unique things to eat in his childhood, I think that every meal we see takes on a new meaning.
Ice cream hurts.
You got a brain freeze there, Jack.
And you can see all of that through the cinematography. The food is highlighted as well to remind you of this idea that it's all new to him. Smell. Smell is very similar to taste in the respects I mentioned earlier, but I think that it's done a little better here. There are quite a few scenes where smell is used to set a tone or mood.
Ow! Ow! Ma, what smells bad? Fuck.
Or highlighted just for the idea of discovery. Alright, so smell and taste are the hard ones. They're the wild cards that you just can't convey in a visual medium like film. But the next three are what really make this film shine. Sound. Sound could very well be the most overwhelming part of the whole ordeal to Jack towards the middle of the film. In this scene, we see him overwhelmed by all the sounds coming at him, and I think the volume of it really conveys a sense of franticness for the viewers. Also, toward the beginning, while Jack and Ma are still in the room, we get to hear quite a few things as well. Here's the thing about sound though, and I'm going to kind of transition to the sense of touch here as well. Sound can be used to make you understand touch. Watch this scene.
God! Fucking bitch!
Do you see how every time Jack falls or hits something, we feel his pain through the sound? It's almost like we're hearing it all the time through his ears instead of watching it as the audience. And that's much of how sound is used to indicate touch in this movie, and how they sort of work together to create one feeling. Check out this scene. I've jacked up the sound so you can hear it a little better. Can't you just feel the cold surface of the floor as his foot touches it for the first time? Alright, so that's sound and touch. Last of all, sight. This is obviously the biggest factor in the film of all. Sight is the hallmark of movies, especially since they're literally called moving pictures. And while clearly you see things in all film, I don't think you experience sight quite like you do in this film in many other places. Watch this. This is one of the most powerful scenes in the movie, Jack seeing the world for the first time. We get a POV, then reaction. Check this. POV, then reaction. As you see, there are quite a few POV shots in the film, and I think they really help us to see all of this from Jack's perspective, from his sight. Then after each POV, we get a reaction shot. POV, reaction. POV, reaction. We get to feel what Jack feels, and then we see how he reacts to it. And ultimately, that's what makes this film great in the first place. It's told from Jack's perspective, and we feel as he does. So yeah, those are how the five senses are approached and appeased in Room. If you haven't seen this film, I highly recommend it, and if you're a filmmaker, I would definitely pay attention to this aspect of the film, and maybe try to apply it in your own. Thanks for watching, guys.